everyone. Thank you for clicking on another video today. Today I have my husband with me. It's been a while since you've been in a video.
Yeah, I feel honored.
But he's necessary because today we're talking about a lot of the things that we make from scratch in our home, and my husband is the main cook of our home and he does a lot of this stuff. So he's gonna help me explain it, and then at the end of the video we're gonna show you how we make strawberry jam and strawberry syrup. And then we're hoping that this we'll be able to show you how to make all of these things, that this will lead into a series that we'll do over the next couple of months. No promises because we are moving and a lot is going on for us. So these will come out as they come out. Also because we're not gonna make these things just to show you, we're gonna make them when we need them and when it makes sense. So we're gonna talk about a few of the things that we make from scratch today. This is definitely not all of it, but I think these are kind of a lot of the main things. And really this whole process kind of started stemming from wanting to spend less money, wanting to not waste food, and also I think just wanting to know what goes into our bodies, what we're actually eating, and cutting out a lot of the unnecessary things that tend to be in processed foods. So that's kind of where this all came from. It did not happen at once. It's definitely an evolution, and some of it is still very new. So let's start with like the pantry items. So my husband makes bread from scratch. Whenever we don't finish eating the bread, we're able to make.
So we do croutons, and we also have breadcrumbs, which are some of the easiest things that you can possibly do with leftover bread.
Yeah, and they're easier to make when the bread is almost more stale as well. So it's kind of like, okay, we ate it to the point where it got stale. Now we'll have to make a fresh loaf, and the remnants, or even if it's just the heels or whatever, you can make into breadcrumbs. So we do that. I tend to specialize in making the granola. Super simple, but I mean, it saves a ton of money, and we're big yogurt eaters. So we like making the granola. It's literally 3 ingredients, and I have a bunch of videos where I make that. So you guys have probably seen that before. I know. We have Alfie with us. So if you hear baby sounds, that's him. And then another thing we started last year, was it? Or the year before?
I think it was last year, yeah.
We started making vanilla, which we found to be pretty cost effective, right?
Very, very cost effective.
And so we actually, he'll make these, he buys the beans off Amazon, and then we make them and give them away as Christmas gifts and all kinds of things. So is this like the regular jar or the mother jar?
So this is one of the regular jars.
Okay.
I think we buy like 50 beans off Amazon. Yes.
It comes in a pack of 50.
Yeah, it comes in a pack of 50. And usually we're able to get maybe about 2 of these size jars out of that much, that many vanilla beans. And that lasts us for a year plus gifts.
Yeah. So then when this is empty, we just throw away the vanilla beans?
Oh, absolutely not.
What do we do?
So once this is ready, you take all of the vanilla beans out and you put it into what's called a mother jar, which is just another jar of vanilla, just like this. But that one's special because it has all of the vanilla beans that you've already used, and it has all of these different extra flavors that are supposed to be special, and it sits
like a layered flavor.
And it sits for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to have a more intense flavor, but a more special, like, the idea is that one mother jar will not taste the same as the other mother jar. So even the vanilla beans, once you're done with them, they don't go to waste. Yeah.
So, okay, and then we'll do the last thing, which this is the newest thing to us, which is apple cider vinegar. And this stemmed from money, but primarily not wanting to waste food scraps, correct?
Right, yeah. So, especially when the fall comes, we like to go apple picking and we get tons of apples.
Yeah.
We always throw away apple cores. So I was wondering, like, what can you do with apple cores? And this is one of the easiest things to do. I think it's apple cores, water, and sugar, I think is what it is, if I remember right. And then you put it all in there and then let it sit for a long time, and eventually it becomes apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. So would you say that any of these are even like intermediate or hard level, or do you think these are all like anyone could just pick this up and do this?
Oh, anyone could do this, especially the vanilla and the apple cider vinegar, because these you do have to bake, but it's very, very simple to do. But the apple cider vinegar and the vanilla, you just put things in a jar and you forget about it for months.
Yeah. I think the only thing that would make these, the breadcrumbs and the croutons, slightly more intermediate would be that fact that you have to bake the bread from scratch. I mean, you don't have to. Obviously, you can make it with whatever bread from the store, but for the effect we're going for, right? Like if you're gonna go through the trouble of making homemade croutons, you may as well make it from like good bread and not just the $2 bread from the store. So, but yeah, all relatively easy. So, you know, feel empowered to do that. So I feel like the fridge stuff actually is a little bit harder. So we'll start with the, we'll just start at the back again. So we have recently been making sweetened condensed milk. So that, I would say that that's pretty easy as well. It's kind of a long process. It's just like boiling milk and sugar. You get sweetened condensed milk. And then from that, we also have been making homemade ice cream. So we don't have any of that to show you, but we can show you in the video, which will be part of the series. Also, just from milk, we've been making homemade yogurt. And also, we've been making mozzarella cheese. He's been doing this for quite a long time, but pretty on and
off.
off. Yeah, it hasn't been like super regular, but we've been doing that more, and it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say of all of the things here, the yogurt is going to be the hardest thing to make.
Okay.
And the only reason that I would say that is because it does require precise temperatures, but as long as you have a thermometer, it's very simple.
Gotcha. Then we have veggie broth, which we make from scraps in our kitchen. This is 100% just well, not 100%. I guess it's like the wanting to know it's in our body, but it's also just wanting to not waste food. And then after this, after you make it make the broth, then you can put it in your compost. So it's like, it goes 3 ways. You use the vegetable, you use vegetable scrap, then the compost. So we've been doing that. Hummus, I just pulled this out because we happen to have it. We're not always making hummus. It's not like a staple in our kitchen, but we've been making that forever and it's pretty easy. So why not make it from scratch if you can? Ranch, also super easy. And we actually make the buttermilk at home as well. So we get butter and buttermilk from that, which is super easy. And we can show you how we do that in a video, but it's literally so simple. And then we use the buttermilk, and then it's just sour cream and mayo, which I've not delved into homemade mayo at this point. I'm a little bit scared. I'm currently pregnant, so probably not the time I would start anyways. And then it's literally just like seasonings and lemon juice. Super simple. And then strawberry jam. So we already have some, but we're gonna make more just because we have strawberries that are quite ripe. And this is also pretty simple, but I'm more of a wing it person. This is why I don't do this stuff as much. I'm more of a wing it person, and he is like, we gotta measure out the sugar and the berries. And he uses his scale for everything because he's crazy.
That's just the baker in me.
Yes. And so my jam never turns out nearly as good as his jam. So, but we're gonna go ahead and show you how to do the jam. And we've never made strawberry syrup this way before, but we're gonna attempt it today. And so we'll show you guys how it goes. Okay, hello. It has been a couple of months since I filmed that intro portion of this video. And I really wanted to include a portion of like actually making something from scratch. So I wanted to do a couple of quick recipes, which are today just involving strawberries. So we have a bunch of strawberries that are getting kind of overly ripe. Even these ones that I'm just now washing, they've just been sitting in the fridge for like a week. I left them for like a week before I got to them, which I don't typically do, but I have a lot of strawberries that need to, be dealt with before they just go bad. So I always wash my strawberries in vinegar and cold water. I let them sit for about 5 minutes, and then I pour some baking soda in and then leave them for about 5 more minutes, kind of swirling them around occasionally, rather than just like rinsing them or buying fruit spray or something like that. So I have these, and then I have other ones in the fridge. So we're gonna cut them up and make the strawberry jam, and then we're also gonna use the strawberry tops to make strawberry syrup, which I love to use for like strawberry lemonade, or occasionally like coffee, or you can use it for all kinds of stuff. So you put it in yogurt or whatever you like to use syrup for, really. So when making strawberry jam, you want to make sure you cut the strawberries into pretty small pieces. These strawberries are really soft, so I don't think it'll make a huge deal if they're a little bit bigger, but especially if you have really like hard, like in that kind of peak of ripeness strawberries, you're gonna want to really cut them up small. Otherwise it is going to take forever for your jam to like, what's the word? For it to like totally like incorporate everything and for everything to be like nice and mushy. So yeah, I'm actually leaving them a lot bigger than I normally do. Normally I would get out a cutting board and like cut them really, really small, but honestly, these are so mushy, there's really no need. I did want to address, like, obviously we are in a different location, and I mentioned it's been a couple of months since I started filming this. So we actually started this series like right before we moved out, I think within the month of moving out. And we knew, I thought I was gonna have time to finish this video, like do the strawberry jam and stuff before we moved, and then make the next installation shortly after moving. But obviously that did not happen. We've been incredibly busy between moving and appointments for the kids, and the summer is just a really busy time for my husband as a youth minister, because there's so many events that happen in the summer with the kids. And so it's been a really fruitful and beautiful summer. It's just been really, really busy. It's part of the reason I haven't been getting videos out. I mean, I've never really gotten videos out on a super strict schedule, but I am trying to actually take YouTube and social media a bit more seriously now. Now that we have our third baby due in about 2 months, we would love to have the additional income. I also know that I can share more than I have been. I just don't really prioritize it. But I really want to, because I enjoy having something that I do for myself and that I make. And I love looking back. I know not a lot of you, I've heard a lot of YouTubers say, whether this is true or not, that they don't go back and really watch their old videos. See, I actually do. I enjoy the videos that I create, for the most part. I'm, especially the ones that share like our life memories and our kids. And I really like to look at it like they're our home videos. And so I actually do go back and watch, not all of them, but a lot of them. They're very like special to me and stuff. And sometimes like recently, since we picked cloth diapering back up since moving, I've gone back and watched some of my videos on cloth diapering, just to remind myself that I've done this before. It's not that hard. and I can do it again. So I really do enjoy creating videos, and I do really want to take it more seriously. So like I said, I've never really been on a strict schedule before, but I would like to get myself on a little bit more of a schedule. That one's kind of overly ripe. So I've been trying to do like videos every week, sometimes every other week. I think I've been doing more every other week, but I'd like to start kind of doing every week, and then just like doing as many shorts as I can, especially on weeks that I don't post a long form video. So if you're interested in subscribing and watching out for more of my content, I would obviously really appreciate that. Also, you can stay up to date on the series that I'm making right now of what we make from scratch. Okay, so now I'm just measuring with my food scale how much I have in strawberries, and I'm gonna do about half of that same amount in sugar. So I have like 623 grams. I'll do about 310 grams of sugar. Okay. And then I just put it on medium heat, and I'm gonna occasionally take a spoon and like mash it down to try to get all the strawberry chunks to be like dissolved and disintegrated. And this can take a really long time, 30, 45 minutes. I don't remember exactly, and I don't usually time it. I just kind of look at it, and once all the sugar is dissolved and all the strawberry chunks are like disintegrated, then it's pretty close to done. I mean, you could probably Google like an exact tutorial, but you know, I just do it by eyeball, and it usually turns out fine. So making jam and syrup does not have to be an exact science unless you're canning it. If you're canning it, then you'll want to follow a canning specific recipe. I will not be canning this jam or syrup today, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. And if it turns out a little bit more like strawberry preserves, that's fine. It like, you know, if it's chunkier, or if it's a little runny, it's also fine. If it's a little sweet, if it's a little not sweet, it doesn't really matter. Like, my family's still gonna eat it, so. So we're gonna do a similar thing. I'm gonna weigh the strawberry tops. So 180 grams. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 of that amount in sugar, and then the same, so 1-to-1 sugar to water. So take the strawberries, do 3/4 of that amount. So for me, it would be 135. So 180 grams of strawberries, and then 3/4 of that is 135 grams of sugar, and then I'll do the same 135 grams of water. So I've literally just started this, and this is already like reducing down really well. And I turned down the heat because you don't really want it to boil, especially like at this stage. You definitely want it to be, like, cook down before it's like boiling. So it's not boiling for like 30 minutes. And then the strawberry tops, I ended up not having nearly as many as I thought, obviously I would have, but I'm gonna let this come to a boil, and then I'll let it boil for about 10 minutes, and then I'll turn it down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So these should take about the same amount of time. This one would typically take a little bit longer, but I put it on there first, so I'm thinking they'll end up being around the same time. All right, so now the last thing for the syrup is just to strain the strawberry pieces out. And the jam is done. It just needs to go into a container to store it. All right, and there we are. Done. Strawberry jam, strawberry syrup.